Oh, hey, what's up? So, I had this crazy idea for a video, but anyway, so I'm gonna give a couple different examples, and they might seem kind of random, but there is a point to it. All these examples do culminate in one main idea, and it's a pretty scary idea. But anyway, so I'll just start. So the first example I want to talk about is drug addicts or just people that use drugs in general. So when some people use drugs, especially certain types of drugs, they sometimes hallucinate and they will see things that we can't. Because they're hallucinating, right? But so you kind of have to ask the question: are they hallucinating, or is it possible that in some cases they see something that we just don't, that they can see things at a different range of light than we do, and we just don't know about it, and that they actually do see it. Now, as crazy as this may sound, there is actually a strong link. There is a link between drugs and religion. As strange as that sounds, there is evidence for this, that there are religions where they use drugs and then they get like spiritual um, sight from the gods, and that's literally how they would communicate with the gods, by taking these drugs. And even today, there are actual some cult-like religions where they do stuff like this, where they'll take drugs and it opens up their third eye, and they can see something. They can see something that we can't. So I don't know. It's just an idea, just an idea. So all these examples I'm gonna give are going to be about different cases where people can see things that normally they couldn't see. And it really begs the question, if there are so many different examples of this, could there be some truth to it? So just a thought, this is an interesting topic. So if you have ideas, if you know something, you're free to leave a comment. I'd be interested to hear what your opinions on all of this. So that's the first idea, is the drugs. Second idea, to check my list here. Let's see. All right, sleep paralysis. That's the second one. This one's pretty crazy. Sleep paralysis. Um, I was surprised. There's actually a lot of research on this, sleep paralysis, and how people can sort of hallucinate when they have sleep paralysis, because this happens when you're about to wake up. So you're about to wake up, but you're still sort of in a dreamlike state, but you haven't quite woken up yet, and your body is refusing to let you move. Like you feel paralyzed, and you're like awake and you want to get up but you can't. That's called sleep paralysis. And some people, unfortunately, suffer from this condition regularly. And there's some crazy stuff about it, like stuff like succubus, incubus, and a lot of the stuff that actually comes from people with sleep paralysis. These ideas of these gods tormenting people, that actually comes from sleep paralysis, where you're just about to wake up, and when you're in this state, you're supposedly hallucinating, and you can see things that aren't really there. And that's the idea, is that you're still dreaming, and your dreams are out in the real world, which is really, kind of a creepy idea, that you can like physically, like you feel like you can see the dreams out there. And it does sound crazy, but there is plenty of research on this. That like sleep demons, if you look it up, this is an actual thing, sleep demons. And but once again, are you hallucinating, or is there some truth to it? That's a good question. I once talked to a man that said that he had an episode of this once, and he said it was very creepy. And personally, and this was many years ago, and then just like a few months ago, actually close to a year ago, I actually felt this for the first time. I think I was just like really tired, didn't get enough sleep, and for about 3 seconds, I think I felt sleep paralysis, and it is very creepy. Like I've never felt it before. That was the one time only. I haven't had anything like that since. And for those 3 seconds, I literally thought there was someone in the room screaming at me. Like there was this demon screaming, and with long hair, and it was very creepy. But it was only like for 3 seconds. And you might ask, like, you might say it's probably hallucination. Yeah, maybe it is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a hallucination. But this happens commonly and frequently enough that you have to ask, like, how much of it's hallucination, how much is real. And there might be cases out there of people that have sleep paralysis where they saw something that is actually there and we just don't know. So that's the second topic I want to talk about. So we had drugs, we have sleep paralysis. So all of these topics have all of it have something in common, is that you're seeing something and you're wondering, is this hallucination or is this actually real? Um, that's two. My third one, radio waves. Now this is an interesting one, radio waves. So, we have a certain visible spectrum of light that we can see from, like, red to purple. We have a very small spectrum of light that we can see that's visible, but there are waves below it and above it. There's a lot of stuff that we cannot see. This is scientifically proven that there is stuff that we cannot see because we can only see a certain visible range of light. So there's radio waves. We have so much technology that gives off different waves, and you are being constantly hit with these waves. There are probably radio waves going through you right now, and you have no clue. Because we have all these cell phones, all these devices, and they're just sending signals back and forth to the satellite and bouncing all over the place. And so you're being hit by waves like literally all the time. You don't feel it because these waves are harmless. Well, supposedly harmless. The wavelength that they're at isn't, it's not dangerous. I mean, if it was, we wouldn't be using them. And that's why you don't feel it. But you are constantly being hit by things that you don't see. The world around you. Like you're just being hit. You have cells moving on your body right now. You have bacteria in your body moving. You don't feel it. You don't know it's there, but it's there. It's there. There's so much stuff that's in the real world that you can't see. We see a fraction of what actually exists in the world. So you're being hit by these waves. There's all these bacteria everywhere. You can't see it, but it's there. So just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. That's a very interesting point. So you got radio waves. That's a third one. Can't see it. So speaking of visible light, we have a certain spectrum of light that we can see. Now, animals like cats and dogs and others, that window of what they can see, it might be different. So a cat or a dog, I mean, not only their sight, but their hearing also. They hear at different frequencies also. So that's why dogs and cats, they can hear things that we can't, because they hear at a their acceptable hearing is at it's a different range. So they can hear things that we can't, but they can probably also see things that we can't. So if your dog or cat is acting weird and there's, I don't know, staring off somewhere, I don't know. Maybe maybe they see something we don't. I mean, just a thought, Maybe they can see something that we don't see. So you got animals, you got visible light. Okay, what else? Radio waves, visible light, outer space. Yeah, so as I've already mentioned, we give off a certain, we can only see a certain range, and there's a lot of stuff we can't see. Also, it's been proven that our bodies actually give off a wave. Like we literally have an aura. Like this has actually been scientifically proven. Your body gives off an aura. You can't see the aura, right? You can't see it, but you actually do give off an aura, which you can't see, which is kind of crazy. But yes, you do. You actually give off some kind of like magnetic field, an aura. So so there's that, and then finally, I think I'll be close to wrapping up this topic on, like, there's just a lot of stuff we can't see, and all of these examples I'm giving to culminate to this last one. If there are so many things that we can't see, that's the spirit realm, like that stuff, and that could literally be stuff that's spiritual. It's in the spirit realm. We cannot see it because our eyes don't see it. Like in the Bible. That case where that man was scared, and then God opened his eyes, and then he looked around and he could see God's army fighting for them. Now he couldn't see it before, right? Because God had to open his eyes. So kind of in a spiritual sense, God has to open your eyes to see things like God sees them. And we spiritualize it, thinking like, oh, but which is how you normally should. You spiritualize it, but you can also take it literally. Like God opens your eyes and you literally see something physically that you would not have seen otherwise. And this could be all around us. It's the spirit realm, and it's part of our world, but we just don't feel it and we don't see it most of the time. And this is the stuff going on in outer space. The fighting in the high places. Satan's army fighting God's army in outer space. That could literally be happening right now. Fighting over principalities. Like there could be this huge spiritual battle going on right now in outer space. We don't know about it. We don't see it. It's so it is possible. I mean, so this is why like I gave all these examples, because I'm showing you that it is very likely that there's just we see a very narrow range of what's there. We just see our visible light, but there's just another world out there. Like, and that's scary. Like we just don't you go about life, you don't think about it, but there's stuff we can't see. And like if God opened our eyes and we saw literally what is around us, the spirit realm, I don't know. I think we'd probably have a heart attack. Like we just wouldn't know how much we're not seeing. Um, anyway, so this is where you get the idea of ghosts and all this other stuff. Like there's a reason behind all these beliefs, and because there's some truth to it. So, I mean, actually, a lot of beliefs that people have about spiritual topics, a lot of them do have some truth to them. They're sometimes warped. Like you have Norse gods, Greek gods, and all of that. There's some truth to that. Those were the giants before the flood. There's a reason why people have these beliefs. They didn't just come out of nowhere. It's always something from the Bible, from true history, that just got warped a little bit, or a lot actually. Anyway, I think I've talked enough on this topic. Very interesting. So I'd like to know what you think about it. You can leave a comment. I think this is a good topic to really think about. All right. See you next time.